Welcome to the Daily Current Affairs by CivicCentre IAS, where we try to discuss the important articles from the Hindu, the Indian Express and the PIB from the UPSC CSC Prelims perspective. Displayed are the list of articles which we are going to discuss in today's video. The first article of the day says that, as announced by the Finance Minister on 23rd July of 2024 in the Union Budget 2024-25, the limit of the Mudra loans under the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana has been enhanced from current 10 lakh rupees to 20 lakh rupees. Notably, this increase aspires to further the overall objective of the Mudra scheme, which is funding the unfunded. In this context, let us talk about the Mudra Yojana. See, Mudra's vision is to be an integrated financial and support services provider of excellence, benchmarked to global best practices, focusing on economic and social development of the underserved communities at the bottom of the pyramid. Furthermore, the mission is to foster an inclusive, sustainable, and value-driven entrepreneurial culture in collaboration with partner institutions aiming for economic success and financial security for all. So, if we have to talk about the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, in short called the PMMY, see, the PMMY is a government initiative launched on April 8th of 2015 aimed at supporting non-corporate, non-farm small or micro enterprises through loans up to 10 lakhs, which is now increased to 20 lakhs. Furthermore, these loans are classified as Mudra loans, are available through commercial banks, regional rural banks, small finance banks, microfinance institutions, and non-banking financial companies. Note that the applications can also be submitted online via udyamamitra.in. Now, if we have to talk about the Mudra loan products, firstly Shishu for early stage funding needs, secondly Kishore for growth and development, and thirdly Tarun for advanced expansion phases. Significantly, these products help categorize borrowers based on their stage of business growth, facilitating a pathway for progression to higher financial support as they scale. Moving on to look at the achievements under the PMMY as of financial year 2023-24. See, the total PMMY loans sanctioned are 6 crores 67 lakhs 77,013. Then the amount sanctioned is 5 lakh 41,012.86 crore. Notably, the amount disbursed is 5 lakh 33,358.35 crore rupees. The second article of the day says that India AI and Meta today announced the establishment of the Center for Generative AI, Srijan, at IIT Jodhpur, and the launch of Yuv AI initiative for skilling and capacity building in partnership with All India Council for Technical Education. Furthermore, this is aimed at propelling the advancement of open source artificial intelligence in India. In this context, let us talk about India AI mission. See, the Indian Cabinet has approved an allocation of over 10,300 crore rupees for India AI mission, marking a major milestone in strengthening India's AI ecosystem. Furthermore, this investment, spread over 5 years, aims to advance various initiatives and ensure structured implementation through a public-private partnership model. Now, if we have to talk about its vision, see, the India AI mission under the Ministry of Electronics and IT aims to democratize AI benefits across the country, bolster India's global leadership in AI, foster technological self-reliance, and ensure ethical and responsible AI use. Notably, there are 7 key components to this mission, which are India AI Compute Capacity, India AI Innovation Center, India AI Datasets Platform, India AI Application Development Initiative, India AI Future Skills Program, India AI Startup Financing, and lastly, Safe and Trusted AI. The third article of the day says that the National Human Rights Commission on Friday issued notice to Andhra Pradesh government over suspected suicide of a 13-year-old girl student of class 8 in a private school in Guntur district. In this context, let us talk about NHRC, which is National Human Rights Commission. See, the NHRC of India was established on 12th October 1993. Note that the statute under which it is established is the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993 as amended by the Protection of Human Rights Amendment Act of 2006. Significantly, it is in conformity with the Paris Principles adopted at the first international workshop on national institutions for the promotion and protection of human rights held in Paris in October 1991. Now, if we have to know about its composition, see, the commission consists of a chairperson, 5 full-time members, and 7 deemed members. Notably, the chairman is a former Chief Justice of India or a Chief Supreme Court judge. Now, what are the functions of NHRC? See, firstly, it looks into the violation of human rights or abetment. Secondly, any negligence in the prevention of such violation by a public servant. Thirdly, to intervene in any proceeding involving any allegation of violation of human rights pending before any court with the approval of such court. Next, to visit under intimation of the state government any jail or any other institution under the control of the state government where the persons are detained or lodged for purposes of treatment, reformation and protection, to study the living condition of the inmates and make recommendations thereon. Then, to review the factors including the acts of terrorism that inhibit the enjoyment of human rights and recommend appropriate remedial measures. Furthermore, to study treaties and other international instruments on human rights and make recommendations for their effective implementation. Next, to encourage the efforts of non-governmental organizations and institutions working in the field of human rights. And lastly, such other functions as it may consider necessary for the promotion of human rights. Then, what about the powers of NHRC? See, under this, if we have to look at the civil court powers, firstly, it can summon and examine witnesses on oath. Secondly, it can request documents and public records. Thirdly, it can receive evidence via affidavits. And lastly, it can issue commissions for examining witnesses or documents. Then it can suggest compensation for victims of human rights violations. Furthermore, it can seek enforcement of human rights in the Supreme Court or High Courts. And lastly, it can take suo motu cognizance of human rights violations without a formal complaint. The next article of the day says that the Delhi High Court was ordered authorities to move all monkeys in Delhi to the Asola-Bhatti Wildlife Sanctuary. In this context, let us talk about the Asola-Bhatti Wildlife Sanctuary. See, the Asola-Bhatti Wildlife Sanctuary is the only protected area in India that represents the northeastern outliers of the Aravalli Hill Range. Know that it is an ancient landform not otherwise represented in the National Protected Area Network. Covering an area of 32 square kilometers, this urban sanctuary in Delhi could serve as a model for conservation efforts led by the Department of Forests and Wildlife under the Delhi. Now let us talk about the biodiversity in it. Talking about the flora, see, the vegetation is predominantly northern tropical thorn forests characterized by thorny scarophytic scrub with species adapted to arid conditions. Then Dhau forest, Kumta forest, Palash forest and grasslands are the type of forests here. Furthermore, you can find invasive species like kikar, lantana and Congress grass which pose threats to native flora. Significantly, 237 documented plant species, including 85 trees, 130 shrubs or herbs, 18 grasses, and 4 sedges are available. Now, talking about the fauna, see, the mammals include 25 species, including leopard, striped hyena, nilgai, golden jackal, jungle cat, ruddy mongoose, and fruit bat. Furthermore, birds of 250 species documented, including 115 residents, 42 local migrants, 58 winter migrants, 28 raptors, including critically endangered species like the red-headed vulture, Egyptian vulture, and vulnerable species like the steppe eagle. Some of the notable cycles are, firstly, pallid harrier, which was first recorded in November 2017. Then black eagle, sighted again between December 2021 and February 2022. Thirdly, northern goshawk, which is recorded in February 2022, marking the first photographic evidence of this Himalayan species in Delhi. Then reptiles of 24 species, including Indian cobra, saw-scaled viper, rock python, Bengal monitor lizard, leopard gecko, and red sand boa. Also butterflies of 86 species, including chocolate pansy, common mime, and red parrot. The next article says that between April and September this year, as per a study released by LipTech, a consortium of academics and activists, 84.8 lakh workers registered under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employee Guarantee Scheme found their names deleted from the program. At the same time, 45.4 lakh new workers have been added, with net deletion of workers standing at 39.3 lakh. Notably, the highest number of workers were removed from the scheme is from Tamil Nadu, which is 14.7%, followed by Chhattisgarh, which is 14.6%. In this context, let us talk about the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employee Guarantee Scheme. See, the MGNREGA is one of the largest work guarantees programs in the world, launched in the year 2005 by the Ministry of Rural Development. Significantly, the primary objective of the scheme is to guarantee 100 days of employment in every financial year to adult members of any rural household willing to do public work related unskilled manual work. Know that the Panchayat Raj institutions will implement the program. Notably, the person days under the MGNREG is defined as the total amount of work days by a person registered under the scheme in a financial year. Now, what are the objectives of MGNREGA? Firstly, to enhance the livelihood security of the rural poor by creating wage employment opportunities. And secondly, to develop a rural asset base to boost productive employment, augment household income, and sustain economic well-being. Now, let us look at the key features of MGNREGA. Firstly, the Act grants a legal right to employment for adult members of rural households, with at least one-third of the beneficiaries being women. Secondly, if work not assigned within 15 days, the applicant is entitled to receive an unemployment allowance. Know that this allowance is one-fourth of the minimum age for the first 30 days and a half for the following period. Then, the Gram Sabhas recommend and oversee at least 50% of the projects. And lastly, the cost sharing is done between the central government and the states for wages, materials, and administrative expenses. The next article says that Pokhran in Rajasthan's Thar desert landscape is imprinted in India's history for the nuclear weapon tests. Now, another milestone linked to the seeds of the new life for the critically endangered Great Indian Bustard has lodged itself in Pokhran's history with the birth of first Bustard chick through artificial insemination last week. In this context, let us talk about Great Indian Bustard. Firstly, talking about its conservation status. See, it is listed in Schedule 1 of the Indian Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Furthermore, it is included in the CMS Convention and Appendix 1 of CITES. Also, it is classified as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List. Then, it is also covered under the India's National Wildlife Action Plan of 2002 to 2016. Lastly, it is identified for the recovery under the Integrated Development of Wildlife Habitats by the Ministry of Environment and Forests of Government of India. Moving on to talk about its characteristics. See, it is distinguished by a black crown on the forehead, a pale neck, and a brownish body with black, brown, and grey wings. Interestingly, both males and females have similar size and weight, but males have larger black crowns and a black band across the breast. Know that they breed mainly during the monsoon season, with females laying a single egg on open ground. Males, however, do not participate in incubation or caring for the young. Notably, males have a gula pouch to produce a booming call audible up to 500 meters to attract the females. Also, they are opportunity eaters, which means their diet includes grass seeds, insects, and sometimes small rodents and reptiles. The next article says that ISRO will use its space docking experiment or SPADEX planned next month to deorbit a satellite, said the space agency's chairman S. Somnath on Friday. Furthermore, the mission will see satellite dock and connect a propulsive device that will help deorbit another in keeping with agency's commitment to zero space debris. In this context, let us talk about SPADEX mission, which is the space docking experiment. See, SPADEX is an ISRO initiative aimed at developing autonomous docking technology, which is a key capability for India's space ambitions, including human spaceflight, satellite maintenance, and space station construction. Significantly, docking enables spacecraft to connect in orbit, supporting essential operations like refueling, cargo transfer, and modular assembly. So, SPADEX will play a significant role in future missions such as Chandrayaan-4, the Gaganyaan human spaceflight mission, and India's proposed Bharatiya Antariksha space station. Now, what are the mission objectives? The first one is autonomous docking. See, SPADEX involves two satellites, the Chaser and the Target, launched into slightly different orbits. So these will align, approach, and dock autonomously, testing ISRO's ability to achieve precise docking at speeds of 28,000 km per hour. The second one is docking simulation, under which the mission will test spacecraft control, navigation, and stability, evaluating how well they perform while docked and after separating to carry out additional tasks. And lastly, demonstration of key technologies, under which the mastering docking is essential for future missions that require assembling space stations, transferring crew, or conducting complex operations beyond Earth. See, the Anant Technologies Private Limited assembled the two 400 kg SPADEX satellites at a private facility, marking a milestone in private participation in India's space sector. Then these satellites were delivered to the UR Rao Satellite Center for further testing and integration. Know that the ATL based in Hyderabad is the first private company to handle full satellite assembly integration and testing for ISRO. Notably, this collaboration is possible due to recent space sector reforms, encouraging private companies to contribute to national space missions. The last article of the day says that the Indian Space Research Organization and the Department of Biotechnology having done agreement to design and conduct experiments which will then be integrated into forthcoming Bharatiya Antariksha station, which is India's proposed Indian space station. In this context, let us talk about the relevant aspects. Firstly, talking about the Bharatiya Antariksha station. See, it is the India's first Indian space station designed for extended human presence in space, will support a range of scientific experiments. The timeline is 2028 for the launch of the first BAS module and 2035 for the completion and operation of BAS. Significantly, the Department of Biotechnology and the ISRO have partnered to conduct experiments on muscle loss and microgravity, algae's role in nutrition and food preservation, jet fuel development from algae, and radiation effects on crew health. Furthermore, the DBT's Bio-E3 policy will drive innovation in biomanufacturing, biotechnology for waste management, pharmaceuticals, and regenerative medicine, supporting a robust bioeconomy estimated to be worth $300 billion by 2030. So in this video, we have discussed 8 articles in total for today. We'll be back again with another video tomorrow. Thank you.